people don't tell you you'll make it to the NFL and lose everything. You can make it to the NFL and lose everything. They don't tell you that. They when you see a picture that's painted of a guy making it to the NFL, you're like, oh, he made it. His whole life changed. He changes the trajectory of his family's.
Mm.
He's writing this book that won't close, right? But what exactly is that? Is that valid? Does that hold truth? How true is that? Well, it's not really true, because you can make it to the NFL and lose all the money that you have. You can make it to the NFL and put yourself in a situation that puts you in jail for the rest of your life. Anything can happen. It can happen, but they don't tell you that.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Things No One Tells You podcast. So that is such real, just genuine, honest insight from former NFL star Vernon Davis. He was a tight end in the league for years. And in this episode of Things No One Tells You, Vernon Davis, who I've known for quite some time, actually unveiled about 3 different things no one tells you. But what I love that you guys just heard is the fact that he is basically saying the thing no one tells you is that when you make it to the place, you're not done working. And I love that really it applies to anybody out there who's even listening or watching this, because it's like when you get to the thing that you're doing, you can always learn. You can always ask questions. You can always find a way to do better. And sometimes it's enough. And sometimes it might not be. But anyway, Vernon Davis, a superstar in the NFL, spent several years at the 49ers, won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. He also said something that I love so much. He said, the thing no one tells you is about the importance of becoming a master of who you have in your corner. There is so much in this conversation that I thought, I want to share that. I want to share this. For background, Vernon is someone that I covered locally in Washington, D.C. before I went to ESPN, because he grew up in D.C., played college at Maryland. But then during the course of my time at SportsCenter, that was when he was in the thick of his career, thriving as a tight end in the league. So certainly, there were so many times that I just remember watching and being so excited for the success that he was having. But Vernon in this conversation gets really raw about the things I've also already mentioned, but he also shares how it's really about reinvention. And as I get ready to leave you guys with this episode, I just want to point out the fact that over the course of the past few interviews I've done, I can't help but notice the thread of the theme, which is reinvention. And I want you to pay attention to the way Vernon talks about this in his case now as an NFL star turned actor, turned entrepreneur, because I really think Vernon sums it up in a way that it's okay to stop and pivot completely. It's okay to be excited about the thing that you did so boldly, but then to do something totally different. And I think as I keep hearing people say this over and over, I'm like, maybe that's really what we're supposed to be doing anyway. So anyway, I hope you love this conversation as much as I loved having it. Here is NFL superstar, turned actor, turned so many other things, Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis, you have done so much since your football days too. So I'm so pumped to talk to you because it's been a minute. But real quick, that's a popcorn machine behind you? Where are you?
Oh yeah, this is this is where I come in if I want to have a nice movie night. I come and get a bag of popcorn and go watch a nice movie.
This is kind of your man cave.
It's like my man cave in a sense, yeah. Yeah, my man cave.
All right, well, so how is life? What would you say, what's going on in the life of Vernon Davis these days?
Life is busy. I didn't think it would be this busy after playing football, but it's extremely busy, filled with endorsement obligations, business, films, television shows, kids, my cat, my family. I'm all over the place.
So you have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids. Yep.
Yeah.
Gian, Valley, and Balon.
And you have one that's about to follow in your footsteps and play football at Maryland.
That's right.
What is that like for you?
It's great. It's sometimes I wake up and I'm like, wow, I can't believe Gianni's about to go to the University of Maryland where I went. And it's just a beautiful thing to see my son grow up the right way. It's always we try to teach them and give them tons of advice and through our experiences that we've had. And you never really know if they're going to how they're going to how it's going to register with them because they have all these outside influences and they can make their own decision whether we like it or not when they're not with us. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. So I'm elated to have him follow my footsteps for sure.
When he shared the news with you where he had made his final decision, what did he say?
Yeah, he was, he came to me and said, Dad, I think I'm gonna go to Maryland. I was like, You sure? I said, I'm not pressing it on you at all. It's your decision, man. Like, if that's what you want to do, I'll support it 100%.
Take me back for a minute because I know you're there in DC. That's the area too where you grew up. But I mean, when you were a kid, like what did you expect your journey was going to look like?
When I was, I mean, I was very confident and I had faith that I was going to make it. I didn't know how or what it was going to be. At first, I thought it was basketball. Then, when I realized that
Yeah.
basketball wasn't going to work for me, I had to pivot and go towards football. So then, as
And
my
real
college,
quick, when how did you know the basketball wasn't going to work out to you? At what point did that become clear?
well, when I walked into the gym, I walked into Dunbar Senior High School, and I noticed that they had their starting five, and I could sense that there was a little bit of favoritism. So I said, I'm gonna go try something else. So I walked into my coach's office, Coach Craig Jeffries at the time, and I said, Can I try out for the football team? He said, Yes. What position would you like to play? I said, Anything that has to do with scoring touchdowns. He said, I'm gonna try you at tight end. I said, Okay, cool. So I went out that first year. It was like magic. I just blew up as a 10th grader, and all the schools started like reaching out to me, and they were like they wanted me pretty much. And from there, I was like, you know what, I got this. This is for me. I'm going to make it no matter
Wait,
what.
and had you played football at that point?
You know what? I played football. I remember playing football my 8th grade year, just a little bit. I was scratching the surface, but it wasn't what I really wanted to do. I was like, let me try it. And I actually did really well, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was going to continue to happen.
But so when you walked into that gym though, real quick, back to the basketball, and like you mean you, Vernon Davis, walk in and you're like, oh, here's the starting five. And you were questioning if you could crack that, right? Like that is fascinating to me.
Well, one thing I noticed that everybody was taller than me. I was like,
Right, right.
look, I don't think I'm growing anymore. I think this is, if I'm gonna play the position that I'm playing, which is power forward, I need to get a
Yes.
little taller, but I don't think that's going to happen. So let me go try something else where I think I can have an advantage.
I mean, and being someone who's also a mom of a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, it's just that whole realization and behind the scenes story is really interesting to me too, because we're not there yet, but like you realize as your kids are getting older and older with the competition and the sports that they love, that it's like, wow, right? Stuff starts to get real. But okay,
Mhm.
so you go on, you're a 10th grader and you said it was like magic. What did that feel like for you?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Just the level of success I started to have and the attention that I was getting. Like it was unexpected in a sense, but I could feel that there was something that I was building and something good that was going to come out of it. And I just stuck with it. I just started working harder and harder and harder. And next thing you know, I'm at 20, 30 scholarship offers.
And then what?
Um, and then I just kept going. I just kept getting better, and I started to believe in myself. I knew that every morning that when I woke up, I felt like someone was trying to outwork me. So that made me get out, and it made me stay after school late. I would stay after school. I would get home around 8, 9 p.m. And then I would get up in the morning. I would do some extra workouts and just continue to just keep working on my game.
How was that in terms of like what was it like where you grew up and just that
Mhm.
dynamic and then you playing sports at the same time? How would you describe what that was like?
Yeah, growing up in Washington D.C. During my time, it was tough. It was tough. So
Mhm.
what I did, I had to go to another school away from the community that I grew up in. I did that because I didn't want to get caught up with the guys that I grew up with in the neighborhood. Because if they were fighting, I had to fight, you know. So I wanted to go where no one knew me, where I can just be my own self, my own man. I didn't have to be a part of no group, or I didn't have any no any friendship other than the guys that I played football with or basketball. So I figured that was, you know, that was a great plan. I went with it, and I think it worked out for me.
And that's not easy. So how did you do that? I mean, who did you have in your corner that was helping you figure that piece of it out?
That was just a decision that I came up with. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
guess I guess it was that burning desire to make it. You know, when you're just gonna make you, there's nothing
Mhm.
gonna stop me from making it to this destination, wherever it is that this destination is going to be. I'm going to get there. And I guess it was kind of like my wisdom at a young age that I developed as a young man from having people like my grandmother and grandfather around who raised me. And they say you should surround yourself with people, like-minded people, people that can elevate you. So I guess that was my form of elevation by having my grandmother and grandfather around at that time. So I used that wisdom to just take me in different directions.
What kinds of things would they say to you? Like, what do you have some wisdom that they would share?
Yeah, my grandmother would always tell me, she said, just because you're pulling away from your friends don't mean you should turn your back on them. You never know when you'll need them. So you can
Wow.
pull away, but don't turn your back. And I was like, okay, those are wise words. She also said that um, always take my time when I get angry, or upset at things, and just be treat people. Um, always give people respect at all times. It doesn't matter. Um, yeah, she was just always harping on those little things. It's just like always the little details that you need to guide you through life that she would always give me. And but that one thing she told me about my friends stuck with me. And I'm like, wow, she's right. No matter what happens, never turn my back fully because I might need them one day. And that's something, you know, I've taken with me throughout my life.
I love that you brought that up because I feel like in conversations with athletes, pro athletes in different sports too, sometimes that theme comes up of like once you make it to whatever league you're in, NBA, NFL, that sometimes that is a part of it that you kind of have to, I guess, reconcile, right? Is like people from your past. And I don't know. Like, what has your experience been?
Yeah, I think you have to really I think you become like right now you have to become a student of understanding people. And once you understand people, you can navigate a lot more efficient, I should say, because it all boils down to people. Like the people you
Yeah.
have you in your corner. Like if I go out and I'm with a guy named James or Tim, they do something, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to suffer consequences because my name's much bigger than theirs, right? I'm the one who played football for 14 long years and had the career that I had. So they don't have to worry about anything. So you have to always be cognizant of every little step you take. And that's one thing that I feel like I've been a master at is understanding who I have in my corner. And now where it gets tough is that when you go through things, there you may have a death in the family, someone you really, really loved and who was very important to you. Now that's when we have to be extremely careful because now you can't see these things that you could see before because you become blinded in a sense and
Oh,
you just
no.
can't think of one thing. So I've had those things happen to me in life too, where I cultivated a relationship with someone, but I couldn't really see who that person was because I was going through so much in my life at that time.
Like if you're going through grief and meaning that like right that maybe there's someone who is not the best situation for you to be around and that you're sort of clouded because of what you're going through.
Yeah, your mind is clouded and you can't really navigate appropriately because there's so much. I mean, when grief hits you, it's like everything stops. I mean, the things you're not really looking for certain things in people. It's almost as if you see the good, you see the good in everything, and you're just searching for like love in a sense.
Mhm.
The love that you kind of lost from that person. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. It's an interesting thing.
What is there an experience that you can share where you've really learned from that? Is there one that is coming to your mind most?
Um, Yeah, I can say a relationship, a young lady that I met, and um, she had some things going on in her past, but I couldn't really see the things in her past because I was so focused on healing. I was searching for healing because at that time I had to take Lexapro. I lost my brother.
Yeah.
I lost my sister. Now I got to really figure out how I can deal with this anxiety because right now this is the worst time of my life. So how can I deal with anything else other than this issue of healing? So that was the moment for me where I couldn't really see what was going on there.
I have wondered about you. I mean, that happened with your brother Vontae, who also was an NFL player in
Mhm.
2024, right? And I thought about you so much going through that because I remember even when I would cover the two of you, there was a time in Washington, D.C., where we did a local sports story, on you guys giving back to the community together. And I've just often wondered, like, what was that like for you, and how you're doing? Obviously, I know it never goes away, but how you're doing now with the loss of your brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm doing really well now. I feel like I found the joy in that experience, right? Because you have to find something that you can hold on to, something that can get you through the rest of your life when you lose someone that's very important to you. And I understand that he left me with something beautiful. So I just take that with me and I just keep it going, keep pressing forward because there's so much to do. There's so much for me to do. Um, so in order for me to be able to continue to do that, I have to keep going.
I know you guys were so close. What would you say that you learned from him that is one of the things that you really take with you?
Oh, he was the most. I mean, he had his enthusiasm every single day it was the same.
Yeah.
Every morning he woke up, he was just so happy, full of joy, just full of life. Like I never met a person like him before. He was a special human, and so I've taken that from him. I'm like, how can this guy go through so much in life? I mean, with not having his mom, not having mom and dad around, growing up in the house with grandparents, and you know, but he still he's waking up every morning with this kind of energy. I mean, this guy, that's everyone loved him. Like everywhere I go, even it doesn't matter whether it's a teammate or just a friend he met along the way. They say, I loved your brother, man. Your brother was, I mean, even his funeral was packed. I mean, it's people, there was a line outside of the door. I mean, everyone just loved Vontae Davis. And, that a lot of that has to do with the structure that my grandmother implemented in us as kids that I was talking about recently.
That's amazing. What was it like for you guys both? I mean, to be in the league, playing in the NFL at the same time. Like, what did that mean to you guys?
It was at first it was surreal to me at first because
Mhm.
I knew Vontae was good, but I didn't know how good he was going to be. But when he got drafted, a lot changed. It changed even more. I mean, uh, you're talking about going from one guy to two guys now, two young men now in the NFL. I mean, of course, it changed from a financial standpoint. It changes drastically, of course, but uh, it's just beautiful having someone like because for me, I used to take Vontae out. I used to wake him up in the morning 6, 7 a.m. when I was in high school, and I would make him make up these workouts. I would take him to a nearby high school, Roosevelt Senior High School, and literally I would make these drills. I didn't know what kind of drills we were doing, but I felt like we were getting better, and I would make him do it. He didn't want to do it, but he did.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted to do it. So for me to be able to pull him along under me and have him make it the same way I made it is just it's just a beautiful story.
God.
I
Yeah. Well, so then, right. So it's like the sort of like the wisdom and the belief that you got from your grandma in that situation, you were sort of also giving to him because you saw and experienced what it took, right?
Right, right. I had a formula, and that formula was like just getting up and just working, right? Put in the
Hmm.
work. And I wanted him to feel that too, feel what that was like, because I couldn't just leave him behind. And he was my brother. I loved him. So to see that unfold the way it did was just, it's just like I said, it's just a beautiful story.
Gosh, when you think back, just to your journey and your career that I know is very much still going on now
Mhm.
in different ways. What is the thing that no one tells you that you've experienced that you think is valuable?
A lot of people don't tell you you'll make it to the NFL and lose everything. You can make it to the NFL and lose everything. They don't tell you that. They when you see a picture that's painted of a guy making it to the NFL, you're like, oh, he made it. His whole life changed. He changes the trajectory of his family's. Uh,
Mm,
he's writing this book that won't close, right? But what exactly is that? Is that valid? Does that hold truth? How true is that? Well, it's not really true because you can make it to the NFL and lose all the money that you have. You can make it to the NFL and put yourself in a situation that puts you in jail for the rest of your life. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, like it can happen, but they don't tell you that.
so how have you experienced that?
Well, I experienced that early on. I mean, I remember when I first made it to the NFL, and I didn't know too much about my finances. I
Yeah.
didn't have that growing up. No one really taught me that. So one day I woke up, I'm headed to practice, and my financial advisor calls me. He's like, "Hey, Vernon, you do know that you have X amount of dollars in the bank, right?" I was like, "Oh, really?" I wasn't paying it. I wasn't tracking that. I still had some money, but it wasn't what I what the money that I accumulated, right? I was losing it all, from spending it, from flights to having parties to um buying things for other people, right? And not
Yeah,
just
like helping
not
to take care of other people.
exactly, not watching my finance. So that was the moment for me where I said, look, I have to really educate myself on what I have going on. Right. If you don't educate yourself, then how are you going to be able to take care of it? So what I did is I started to wake up and develop a process of being able to look at my accounts, right? The different accounts that I had. Also started asking questions. I started like seeking people in my neighborhood and taking them out for lunch. Like I had a guy who had um restaurants in my community. So I started taking him to lunch. I had a guy who was big into real estate, started taking him to lunch. And then all of a sudden I said, you know what? Let me hire a business attorney to help me, right? Because if you have a business attorney, they know everything. They know how to structure things, right?
Yeah.
So if they're the ones that structuring these agreements, then I can learn a lot from them. So I did. I hired a business attorney, paid him $10,000 a month for a year, then let him go.
Really? And what did they do for you? Like what kind of structure did they help you implement?
Oh, he came in. This Eric, he came in and he handled every deal that I had, from endorsement to like whether I was buying real estate. He just kind of just guided me through all of the different things that I had going on, and I was able to see and sign every deal that we had going on. And at the time, I was with Levi's. I did something with Sports Illustrated. I was just I was all over the place doing a lot of different things, and he was there to guide me.
And was he your agent at all or no, separate from your agent?
No, no, he was separate from my age. Just all business and endorsements. We just handled those documents together.
Wow. That's cool. That's all. I love that. That's kind of what you did. It's funny because that seems like a common thread too, a little bit. You reminded me a lot of the Olympics. Like I just got done covering the Olympics, and I know you're a big curling fan, right? You like
I am.
curling?
I love curling. I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's hard, right? But I think that's really cool. But something that I feel like a lot of the athletes that would be our analysts that would work with us would talk about is just one in particular was like, she played women's hockey and it's like I didn't see anyone like me doing what I was doing. She played with the boys, but just the fact that you don't maybe see the path in front of you, but you just have this sort of belief in this tenacity to just move forward and ask the questions and like go for the thing and figure it out. Right. And I don't know.
Mhm.
I just think there's so much interesting there in that.
Yeah, I know. I feel like impossible. Nothing is impossible. I mean, you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Do you have a favorite memory that you think about during your time in the NFL?
Gosh, my favorite memory. only thing I can think of is just making it from losing so much and then having like this moment of like, gosh, we're here. Like when we went to
The Super Bowl, you mean?
our first time in the playoffs, we played the New Orleans Saints. That right there is a moment that will live in my memory and in my inside of my emotions forever. Like not just because I had an iconic catch called the
Yes.
catch three,
Yes.
but just because of like I did it with my brothers. I did it with guys who I struggled with, right? We there was at one point in time there was no hope. We didn't think we would ever win. I told myself
That year?
no, just in general. Like I told myself there was one moment I had like looked in the mirror and I said to myself, I said, look, I'll probably be on another team before I before I start winning. Right. I just didn't think it was going to happen with the San Francisco 49ers because we were losing so much. All of my hope was gone. But it was restored when Jim Harbaugh came in and was able to help guide us and get us to where we needed to be. And that was just a beautiful time for us.
What was that secret sauce? How did he do that? Because you lived it. So can you take us inside what that felt like? And was there a moment that you realized, like, hmm,
Mm. I think for me, I think you set so when from being on these different teams, right? It's all about the environment that you create, right? What's the culture that you're building here
yes, yes.
on this team, right? From upper management all the way down to the janitor who's coming into the building and sweeping and cleaning the floors, right? Everyone has to be accountable. So Harbaugh, the way he held us accountable was few and far between. He created something that we had. It's either look, you either come in here, you do what I tell you to do, or you get out if you don't believe in what we're trying to accomplish, right? That's how we felt with him. Like it's either like we're gonna do this or we're not. Like and he held us accountable. Like he made us work. But he wasn't really he wasn't too tough on us, right? He was tough enough. We knew that we had to go in and give out and put our best foot forward, right? We had to work, but we also had to be smart, and we also had to do things the right way outside of the game of football. Like when we wasn't practicing, we had to be in our meetings on time. When we wasn't in the building, we had to do the right things with our family and how we
How were
treated
you
people.
held accountable with that stuff? Like if you
We
were late to a meeting, what happened?
you get fined. There were fines in place that he had. Like you had to do it, or you were paying. You were paying, right? And then he rewarded us, right? There's you have to reward guys when they do well, right? Because they look forward to that. Like we had these blue collar shirts. Might not mean anything to someone, you know,
Yeah.
who wasn't on the team. It might not mean much, but to us it meant a lot because it had our name on it and it was a blue collar shirt. He was like, "Look, guys, this is what we do. We're blue collar. There's this is we come to work, we bring our lunch pail, and we work extremely hard for our families. And we go home, we pay the bills. We check the lights, make sure the lights are turned off at night before everyone goes to bed. This is what we do." And he created that, and we bought into it. We believed it, and we wanted it. We wanted it. He wanted it. He brought in all the right pieces from offensive coordinator Greg Roman to a great defensive coordinator, and he put the pieces together, and we went out and we did it.
Wait, so the blue collar, was it like a button down blue collar shirt?
Yeah, it's a short
Mhm.
sleeve blue collar shirt with your
Like a
name on it.
polo?
Yeah, like a maintenance man. It could be anybody, like a blue collar guy going to work, clocking in, hitting that button. It's
And
calling.
he
He's bringing his lunch pail with his sandwich in it. He got his
yes.
box. Yeah, blue collar.
And so he would give the players those shirts.
He would give the players those shirts whenever they did something really really well.
So he
Just
was like creating, it's like a culture of, like you said, it's like accountability, but it's also like meaningful responsibility and what's the word I'm looking for? Like ownership. Is that ownership of like being a man? Like
Oh yeah,
that's,
yeah, man. And one thing that I love that he did, like if we did something we wasn't supposed to do, he was gonna let it be known in front of all the rest of the
oh,
guys.
really?
Yeah, he was gonna let it be known in front of the guys. Like you did it, so we need to hear about it. Let's talk about it right here. And if you did something in the game that wasn't conducive to the team, then we were going to talk about it in front of everybody else. He was going to point it out. Like, it's the worst feeling in the world is going in and being called out in front of everybody. Nobody wants that. So you're going to try your best to be perfect, right? Even though you're not perfect, but every single practice, every single game, you're going to try to be perfect.
Do you remember one of those times that you got called out for something in a meeting?
Oh yeah, I remember I got called out. I mean, I remember dropping a pass in the end zone. I got called out for it for sure.
Oh no, really? Like what would he say in the group? Because also it's about camaraderie, right? So it's like relatability, I'm sure.
But the thing, yeah, he talked about it, but also you break someone down, but you build them up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he break you down, but in practice, he'll build you back up, right? Because you got to have that confidence. Of course, yeah, I got on you. I made my mark and I got on you. I called you out in the meeting. But look, we're in practice. That's gone. That's behind you, right? Learn from it, build on it, and let that energy carry you into something great, right? Let's try not to let that happen again. You learn from it's like one of those things, like a child. You learn from your mistakes. If you go touch the fire, it's hot. You're not going to touch it again. You're going to build on that, and you're going to keep on evolving and learn from it.
So, okay, what's the thing no one tells you about failure and the power then to enjoy the success?
They don't tell you that failure is the most beautiful thing you could ever wish for. Like failure,
What?
it is. It's amazing. It's so amazing. I mean, because like a lot of people look at it like, if I fail, this is going to happen. If I fail, I'm not going to get this signing bonus. If I fail, I'm not going to get if I don't, I'm not going to get the what this whatever thing it is that you were hoping for, right? It's just I just think that failure is beautiful because it teaches you that for one, it teaches you that you're not perfect. It also teaches you that it's okay to fail. You can't be afraid. Like coaches always say, don't go out playing a game um, being afraid to fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just got to go full force, and whatever happens, it happens. You get back up, you dust yourself off, and you keep on going. Because I mean, it's only like if I didn't, for instance, if I didn't lose the money that I lost when I was younger, how can I go out and talk to the guys who the guys who are doing real estate, the guys who have the restaurants, right? How can I know to do that if I didn't fail early on? That catapulted me and my success as far as my finances because I was able to fail with that in my earlier years. So I just think it's a beautiful thing.
So it's kind of like thinking about the areas that we're not doing our best in, even like right now, today. And like as I'm talking to you, I'm like looking at my office is a mess. And I'm like, when you get overwhelmed because you have stuff where you don't know where it is. And I'm like, to me, that is a version of like failure. And this is going to sound so weird, but like you have to kind of hit that point before then you're like, okay, so what do I do about it? So maybe I'm literally having someone help me just purging it, right? Like
Mhm.
my point is, yes, I think that people don't talk about that enough. Like just the power of when you fail, it is the one thing that forces you to take action often, right? It's kind of that. Um, okay, so outside of football, you have had such, from my vantage point, just success in so many different areas. Like I've always known that you were an artist. I know that you were a studio art major, and I remember that about you. And that's so cool, right? That you've always kind of had that side. But in terms of the projects that you've done, you now have a podcast that is awesome. You're about to have your series come out, Rock the Block, which is on HGTV, which is amazing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is home design renovation, and it's a competition show, which is incredible. But how have you how have you navigated that? And by the way, also acting with Morgan Freeman, and other like people of his ilk?
Yeah, yeah. Life has been totally unexpected, but they say if it's unexpected and you're doing things that you didn't plan to do, then you're probably moving in towards the right direction. And it goes back to failing. Like a lot of people don't take chances because they're afraid to fail.
Mm.
Right? Like I took a chance. Like when I was done playing football, I said I want to go and do movies. I want to create my own films. I want to act alongside some big stars. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna figure it out. So I just kept going. And next thing I've been a part of 20 different films, right? In 4 or 5 years. And it's just been awesome because you're navigating. Look, I might not be the best at what I'm at the best in this space, but eventually I will learn to figure out how to be really good at it, through time, I believe. And still, I'm still learning. I'm still getting better at things, even with the film space. You know, I'm still learning. I want to be able to, come up with an idea, write it,
Mhm.
direct it, and act in it at some point in time. But I know it's going to take time to get there. I got to continue to keep working, and if I do, it'll all work in my favor. It's just time. Just have being patient, learning, continuing to keep learning, keeping your energy. Just stay open, to
Mhm.
different opportunities, and just learn from it, and just get better.
I also recently had an athlete talk about like people sometimes have a hard time saying what they want and are not being clear about like what is the thing that I'm interested in? What is the thing that I want? And I think that's a really great point too. That sounds like you're also saying what was the first thing that you did in terms of walking through the door into that space, the acting space when you were done with football? What was your first step?
So I had a guy, he had a script, and we were talking about it while I was playing. So he had the script. I said, okay. I went to him. I said, when I'm done playing, I don't know when it's going to be, but I'd love to like piggyback off of you and do this. He didn't know what he was doing either, but he knew how to put the pieces together. So what happened was he gave me the script. I learned it. I got an acting coach, and we worked on this script religiously. Like I would work with this acting coach, Kevin
Wow.
Benton, and we just kept working, 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 working. And the next thing you know, after that, we started doing the back end work, the business side of things. We started coming in and bringing the director in. We brought a line producer in, and those guys had the people that they were working with, and we pieced this thing together until we were able
Wow.
to make this film.
And what was that like?
It was awesome. It was beautiful. It was a little nervous at first,
Yeah.
but I was prepared. So I relied on my preparation. I knew that I had put the work in. So all I had to do is just go and just do what I was taught and live truthfully in the moment.
In terms of also living in the moment, I wanted to ask you about the podcast you do. I listened to, I know you had Ndamukong Suh on there recently. Bobby Bones was one that I was like, this is really cool because I listen to him all the time. I love country music too, but what what do you look for most and what are you most interested in when you are having these conversations? Because they're really in-depth conversations that you have with your guest. And I love it. And if people here, haven't heard it, they should go and check it out because it's like they're really sort of deep and really revelatory in some ways.
Yeah, I like so when I'm talking to these guests, I mean, these are some amazing guests. When I'm talking to them, I want to know, first of all, I like to start, I want to talk about like their journey, like where they came from, where they are
Mm.
now, and what plans they have for the future. Like these are people who are not stopping. They're similar to myself.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
why I created the next role because I want to talk to like-minded people, people who believe that they're just getting started. Right. If you believe right now that you're just getting started, you're always going to have something to work towards, right? And that's how I feel. And sometimes I feel like I haven't achieved anything at all. And a lot of people ask me like, you played 14 years in the
Right.
NFL. You've done movies with Morgan Freeman and Bruce Willis, but and you have a podcast. How do you feel like you haven't done anything? Like, I I don't know. I just don't want to become complacent. I don't want to be that guy who sits there and looks on the wall and looks at everything he accomplished, right? Because I don't want to see that. That's in the past. Like football is in the past, right? I love um, what I was able to do. I love the memories. I love the accolades and things of that nature. But I don't want to keep thinking about the young man who was running up and down the field catching touchdowns. I don't want to think about that. I want to look at what's in front of me and create that. I want to create a movie about what that young man that was running up and down the field. You know
Wow.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's how I think. That's my mindset.
So is that difficult? Because, well, maybe I can phrase it differently. Like, what is what's something no one tells you about when you're done with the game? You know, is it because I talk with my like friend circles, especially among women, and it's like there are times that yeah, that kind of is like, okay, reinvention or the next role. I love that that's the title of your podcast because that makes so much sense. It's was it hard when you got away from that, considering the camaraderie that it takes with a football team and, you know, being so used to achieving and grinding it out?
It was hard. It was difficult on the day that I decided to walk away. That was the
Okay.
most difficult moment. On that day when I say, okay, I'm gonna do it. That was hard. But when I
Mm.
actually took that step and I walked away from it, I walked away from that shadow. I knew what was in front of me. I knew that chapter, a chapter in the book was over, and now it's time to go into the next chapter. And I didn't look back. I just kept moving forward. And that's what you have to do. You have to say, hey, this was a part of me. That was a small part of me. Now, what's to come is always whatever's in front of you is always going to be bigger and brighter than what you left behind. Right. So that's how you once you learn that and you understand that, what you did was big and it was bold. You made a bold statement and you crushed it. But the stuff that you're going to crush that's coming in front of you is going to be you're going to crush it even more. It's going to be even bigger. It's going to be brighter. So get prepared.
I think we should take that and bottle it up. Like, that's amazing. That's what everyone should be
Right.
chasing,
That's right.
right? I mean, that's such an awesome mindset. And yeah, coming from someone that has done what you've done, won a Super Bowl, you know, just had all the accolades that you've had, that's incredible. And it's exciting is what it is. Cause it's like there's no limit until you decide so, per se. Okay, wait. So this game, I don't want to, it's not a game show, but this competition show on HGTV, Rock the Block. What like what itch does that scratch? That's such a bad phrase, but like what did you love most about that experience?
Well, let me tell you. So I'm gonna tell you what I love. So they were intrigued with me because they learned about what I was doing. So when I in 2015 I started buying properties, and then I did a 1031 exchange where you take properties that you buy, you transfer them over to properties that are equal or greater than, and you don't have to pay taxes on it. You avoid paying taxes. So I started doing that in DC when I arrived in 2016 to play with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
And so I started some of the houses I would flip them. Some of the houses I would keep and I would rent them out. So that has been my process and my my process in as far as in this space. So now this show opportunity to do this show comes up, the rehab and renovation design
Yeah.
competition. They're looking at me like I'm the new kid on the block, but they don't know that I have some experience in this game a little bit, right? So now that I'm on the show, I'm like, wow, this is high level. Like, I'm coming up with the design with my partner Mina, and we're renovating, and we're actually getting our hands dirty. Like this is
Yeah.
like this becomes like a new love to me, a newfound love. Now I can come back here and I can micromanage, I can manage these guys, and I can actually see everything that's going on and tell if it's done correctly. Like from laying out towel to just whatever it is, micro cement, you know, I know the terms, I know the lingo, I know it all. I can do it even more. I'm
You
I'm
got your hands dirty in that way too? Like
oh
those
yeah.
two
Oh
things?
yeah.
Oh. And wait, how did your football experience like just grinding it out with you know, on the field with the brotherhood, like how did that show up in terms of the chemistry with Mina? Is that a
Oh,
weird question?
that's a great question because once you learn how to work and you become selfless and
Yeah.
you just learn how to be in a work in a team atmosphere. You learn how to work. Like you work together. It's all about the team. It's not about me, it's not about me, and it's about us together, what we accomplish together. And we work, we feed off of each other. We come in the enthusiasm, like when I walk into the garage and I start um planning and looking over things and working with Mina, I think about walking into the football facility. I have to have high enthusiasm, and my energy has to be good because like Mina is going to want to feed off of that, just like my teammates fed off of my energy. You got to be positive. It's always positive.
All right. Before I let you go, I have to show you something. This is a good story. My son, one of the things they're all doing now is cards, right? Football cards, basketball cards. That's his jam. I'm learning about it. I'm not an expert, but we go to this card shop the other day because he begs us to take him like every 2 days. He'd go every day if he could. And we're looking through this box. It's just like one NFL box, like certain items. And we pull this one out and he's like, Mom, look. I'm not even kidding. But
What's in the
your
box?
card.
Oh, come on, stop it. That's me?
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. And he was like, Mom, this is really cool. You should get that. And I was like, you know what? I will, because I want to show him. And you know what's crazy
That's
about
cool.
it? So on the
That's
back
cool.
of it, it says the first reception of his NFL career turned out to be a sign of things to come for Davis. In the opener of the 2006 season, the tight end broke free for a 31-yard touchdown against the Cardinals. He went on to find the end zone 62 more times in his career, including an NFL high 13 in 2009. I mean, how cool is that?
That's cool. That's cool. That's
Right?
super cool. Yeah, that's dope.
What does that make you think about when you look at this kid
That makes
from
me
your first act?
yeah, that makes me that makes me think about the kid who was trying to reach for the stars. Like just I mean, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be the best tight end in the NFL. I wanted to like make a name for myself in the NFL. When people talked about tight ends, I wanted them to talk about me. I wanted to like break records. I wanted to do things that other people wasn't doing. I just wanted to be that guy. And that's what I think about when I look at that card. Like someone who didn't know what was going to happen, but he had a goal in mind. He had like aspirations to be great. And that's what I see when I look at that.
I love it. I love it. And I'm excited to see what your next act, your next role brings you. You're the best.
Voila.
Voila. Maybe the popcorn is significant in the back there, right?
That's right.
Get
That's
the
right.
popcorn
Yo,
ready.
that's right.
You're the best, Vernon. Thank you. This has
Yeah, I
been so
appreciate
much fun catching up. And, I always appreciate your wisdom. So
it.
thanks so
Yeah,
much.
absolutely. Good to see you too.
You too. I know that the story about Jim Harbaugh and the whole like lunch pail group has been told before, but oh my gosh, I loved hearing Vernon's take on just what that was like being on the inside of that and the excitement that the guys had of finding this new ownership and sort of accountability when their new head coach came in. Cause that's what I love about sports. It's like, all it takes is one fresh set of eyes. It's like all those movies that people watch, whether Hoosiers, all those great sports movies. It's all about chemistry and relatability and just all about the people, right? I also just adore the way Vernon reacted to his football card. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this. But thanks so much, Vernon, for your time. I hope you guys learned something from that conversation. And as always, if you enjoyed it, please like, rate, review. One of the best ways, as we always say, is to share this episode with a friend who you think might enjoy it. For our entire show team here at Things No One Tells You, that includes producer Ashley Dixon Ellison and our editor, Sam Archuleta. We want to say thank you so much for listening, for watching. We will be right back here with you next week. Thanks so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you back here next week. Please don't forget, follow and subscribe to Things No One Tells You. And of course, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a 5-star review because that's really what helps people get more listeners. We would love to grow this community. We are so grateful that you're a part of it. See you next time.